This is the review for the board game Heat. Pedal to the metal, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this review, you will know if this is for you.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer in this video, but before we do that, Giannis, what is this game Heat all about?
In Heat, you are a race driver and you have your own car that you're trying to get across the finish line.
But also there are other people who try to do that same thing, so you just have to be faster. In each game you have to do several laps, and who is the first one finishing wins the game.
Just like in real life. Each player has their own board, and on top of the board, each player on their turn goes through all these steps. First thing you do on your turn, you decide which gear you're gonna be in. You can switch one gear up, one gear down, or just, more and then just receive some heat.
And what those gears basically do is let you play more or less cards. But the more cards you play, the more dangerous it is. But the less cards you play, you can cool down the engine, but you don't get that far.
Why would you go slower? Because corners have special limitations, and if you go too fast, you can spin out, and that's obviously not good.
So on your turn you play cards, and these cards have numbers, how many spaces your car will move on. There are some trickery in there, where you can get bonuses, where you can get bad things happen because you go too fast. But essentially, that is it. You choose how many cards you will play, and move that many spaces.
There are a couple more things that happen in your turn. For example, if you play stress cards, which clog up your hand and you have to play and you don't know how far you're gonna move, you get heat, or you can cool down your car, remove heat from your deck. You can slipstream, which lets you move a little bit farther ahead if you're behind somebody. A couple of small things happening here in game.
At the end of your turn, you can throw out from your hand how many cards you want to, and then pick up to 7 for your next turn. And we're gonna talk about it a lot more in this video, so we should jump to the first question, which is...
Who would you get this for?
Who would you get this for? 3, 2, 1. Broom, broom, broom.
Oh, nice. And I have an arrow. It's the most undescriptive who would you get this for ever.
Essentially, if you are a person who at any age still want to do
I'm timing your lap.
It's a car game, and it's all about it. It really feels like
It's a car
game, and also card game. And the theme is very strong, even seeing that box, just seeing these miniatures. It's all about cars, and there is enough depth for you to, as a 30-year-old man, still feel like I'm doing quite productive and a good thing here. I'm not playing around with cars, it's fine.
No, this is serious hobby.
This is a serious hobby, for sure. But it also feels like the little kid that loves cars in you enjoys every part of it.
Well, you pretty much so described it, yeah. I was pointing at you. But essentially what I mean, it's for almost anybody, but mostly gamers, I'd say. This is a perfect gamers racing game. And obviously, if you like Formula like you do, and if you like racing sports like you do, that adds. I don't like racing sports that much, so we'll see what I think about this game later on. What are the 3 best things about this game? My third best thing about this game is going to be variable player count. So it's 1 to 6 players, and the best thing is it works with 1 to 6 players. Rarely games work for all the player counts, and this is one of those rare times. It's great solo because the bot system is super simple. It's good with 2, it's great with 5 and 6 where you don't need the bots, and works as a racing game for anybody. What's your third best thing?
Well, Heat. One of the main systems, and why this game actually is called Heat, is because of these red Heat cards. What do they do is basically whenever you do like a tricky maneuver, go too fast in a corner, or want to do like bonus actions or something like of that sort, you have to pay a Heat card. And if you cannot do that, then you spin out. So this is basically how much pressure your car can take. When to use them, because you want to live on the edge all the time, because then you will get the max result out of this game. Really what makes it a racing game.
So that kind of goes into my second best thing about this game. Sports. It's always very tricky to put sports into board games. Because who is this for? Is this for a Formula 1 fan? Is it for a gamer?
Yeah, it is.
So there we go. It perfectly fits everybody, and that happens very rarely. And mostly it comes from what you said about the heat cards, but also the unpredictability. You talked about heat cards, I'm gonna talk about the stress cards. So sometimes during certain situations, for example, when you spin out, you get stress cards. And those you can't discard, they're just stuck into your hand until you play them. What they do is essentially they let you draw a random movement card. Sometimes it just aligns perfectly. You need 12 and you go 12 together. It's like, mwah! But sometimes it's too much and you spin out, and sometimes it isn't, and it's just so unpredictable. If you're losing at the beginning of the race, you might still be losing at the end, but sometimes you will not, and you never really know. And that makes it a sports game, because yeah, sometimes somebody will be slightly better, will not always be the first one, because sometimes things will happen, and it just makes it exciting every time to play. It just feels like sports.
Number 2 for me is mods. The playing game is very, very simple. Play these cards, move around, and so on and on. But there's tons of mods, a lot of upgrades to add to this game. For example, literally car upgrades. There are cards that you can add to your deck which gives you like powers, not just for speed, but also extra cooldown, extra speed when you use a slipstream. And before each race, you choose and build your own car. And that's what makes it feel like a car game. There's a championship mode, which lets you play multiple rounds in a row, and there's a bunch of others that makes this game really come to life.
Not much to add. My best thing about this is modular. Everything you said. You can start it out as a simple intro racing game, and then you can build upon it. And you should build upon it.
Best thing for me is the theme. When I saw that game, when I saw these car pieces, when I read the rulebook, I was excited about the theme, about cars, about just, hey, this could be really cool car racing formula game. And, well, it is. And the theme is what I think will put this in your shelf more than anything else.
Why this might not be for you. So, Janis, why this game might not be for them?
Number 1 is plans. Because you have to make plans to win. To play? No, you can just go. What I mean with that, it's quite demanding on you to figure out 3 corners ahead, or else you will run out of heat, run out of speed. Even though it's like this quick and fun, almost sometimes feels like a party game, which is not. There's a lot of planning you have to do, unless you probably will have a bad time.
I'm just gonna go down there. You dislike racing. The theme, the mechanisms of being first and last and first, middle, does not appeal to you at all? Why are you looking at this game? I mean, it's what it is. It's a racing game with a racing theme. What else? If you don't like that, then this is not gonna be for you. It's not gonna change your mind. It's as racing game as it gets.
So one thing is Legends, and I'll put it at the bottom. You told that this game can be played from 1 to 6 players, but I will always say that there has to be at least 4 cars there. So if you're playing 1, you have to still manage 3 more cars. Yes, you said the Legends are quite quick. There is still a management that you will have to do.
Legends are the bots.
With 2 people, it's not just you playing, you still have to manage it. And the biggest thing for me is more. You said there's a lot of things. There are. For me, the biggest disappointment was when I read the rulebook. It sounded so amazing, all those mods and upgrades and everything. But essentially, they are very, very, very simple. For example, the upgrading system is in each race you will get new card for each race. You just take one, add it to your deck, and then play the game. But I just wanted to kind of have more influence on my car, exchange that, build that for, this specific map. And it wouldn't add that much rules. It would be just more customization before and would feel like more even like a racing game. For me, this game feels like it's really fun. And as a racing fan and like a heavy board gamer, I just think that this is a really good base for more.
How long is the honeymoon?
How long is the honeymoon?
Already? Really?
Yeah.
That was quick. You ready?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. I'm winning that championship.
Longer than an average racing honeymoon.
Yes, well, as we mentioned, there is this championship module where you can play different races in a row and then win a championship. We played it with my wife and she beat me. It was really thrilling at the end, but she kicked my ass at the end.
Say no more. That explains all the bad things about this game. Void. Cancel all those.
I want to win it just for winning purposes, but also after playing through the WoW Championship, I feel like, I'm okay, I'm done. Not done, but maybe from time to time I could pull it out. But I don't feel like that honeymoon is that thrilling as it was at first.
All the other racing games that I've played are very similar. You have a couple of tracks, and then you play those tracks, and maybe there's a championship, maybe there isn't, mostly there isn't. But here, again, you have multiple tracks, which is already great, but all the upgrades, mods that you can play, championship is just so much. If you really want to get into this, you really can get into this. It lets you, wow, so much stuff. Yeah, so what is the best alternative?
3, 2, 1. Long shot the dice game.
Huh, interesting. Downforce. Well, mine's at least about cars. In Downforce, you also race around the track, but you might own cars. You might own 1 or 2 cars, and if those cars come first, you get cash for that. And the point is get most cash. Plus, you also bid on the cars that are gonna go. It has a very unique racing system where you play a card, and cards usually have multiple cars on them. And then you're gonna move multiple cars. You have this hand management. Which card do I play when, at what time? Do I play it now and just kind of race it forward or just slow it down? Way simpler than this, but it's not as deep as this.
Mine is Long Shot the Dice Game, which is a betting game. Also, not really the racing game as this, but there are like horses racing, and you can place bets on which horse is gonna win, but also you can really much influence who's gonna win. Still a dice game where you roll dice and see how randomly they move ahead, but you can add like extra boost to horses, then make them go faster and so on. For a lot of people like this, you can play from 1 to 8, I think this one. This one is 1 to 6. Both the excitement is there. Rules-wise, I would say it's quite similar, yet that is easier to play at the end. But anyways, I feel like there is similar excitement. Weirdly, I would say this one has more replayability for me. Even though there's not that much stuff, I just feel like it's just easier to get this to the table, and because of that excitement.
Okay, so what is the final rating?
3, 2, 1. Really good. Yeah, for me, I really enjoy all of the game basically, and yeah, just playing those cards, your moves, planning, the adrenaline you're getting, and trying to beat your opponent and trying to get behind him so you can get the slipstream. Yeah. For me, the replayability, I feel like after all of this, I'm kind of done with it, almost. It's not like I want to buy it. I would totally actually play it again if I can. All the time, if you're saying, hey, let's play it, I'm all in. But I'm not gonna buy it. That doesn't feel like it has to be in my collection, even though it's really, really, really good game.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. This is a perfect game for your friend to have.
Yes.
If somebody suggests this, I would also play it. Really good game.
Yeah.
Definitely give it a go. I mean, it's a must play for everybody.
Absolutely. I'm super happy I tried it out. I was super excited to read the rulebook and just see all these things. As I said, I see a lot of potential here to make it even more gamerish. Maybe some expansions, I don't know. But those are all our thoughts. Let us know what are your thoughts about this game in the comment section below.
And what are your favorite racing games?
Yeah, that as well. And I guess we'll see you in the next video, right?
Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks to our supporters, and see you next time.
And until the next time, they should also check out our Patreon, right?
For sure. Because there's more content there, right?
There's more content there, more of our faces, beautiful faces, and and a lot of other things. So check it out.
Cheers.